Hey, everybody. Welcome on into First and Tangent. I'm your host, Jake Sievers. This is a show where we first talk about the Packers, and then we go on a little tangent about anything else going on in the world, whether that's sports, pop culture, movies, stand-up comedy. Speaking of movies, super excited to see Marty Supreme, the new Chalamet joint with A24 and Josh Safdie. Don't understand how everyone on Twitter apparently was at the New York Film Festival or Tribeca Film Festival or wherever it was that they saw the screening, but apparently he's a shoo-in to win the Oscar. I mean, what can't that guy do? So excited to see it and talk about it when it comes out in December. But until then, we'll go on some different tangents. Coming off the bye week for the Packers. Hope that y'all had a great bye week. Not stressful for the Packers. Some players got injured, unfortunately, but we didn't have to watch them on our screens, and so therefore our heart rate and our pulses could stay down. Hope that y'all enjoyed your bye week. I went over to the DraftKings Sportsbook in East St. Louis with some buddies to place some live bets and watch the games. The duel between the Seahawks and the Buccaneers, I mean, Egbuka against JSN, absolute cinema. Would be nice to have a guy like JSN on the Packers, especially when we had the chance to draft him. I'll never get over it. But it was a great bye week nonetheless. Got a haircut, got some new clothing. I actually got a new Packers jacket that just came in, so excited for the weather to hit the 50s so that I can bust it out and not look like an absolute poser on the show. So excited for that. Also, during the bye week, or maybe not the bye week because it happened on Thursday Night Football last night for me. I don't know when you're watching. But the Eagles tush-pushed 4 times in a row. Puke City. I mean, every single time that they tush-push, it's illegal. Their right guard false starts every single tush-push, and they ran it 4 times in a row. It should have been banned in the offseason. The Packers were the sacrificial lamb that went out to slaughter and said, yeah, you can attach our name to this because we don't have an owner, so you don't have a guy that you can bully, Howie or Nick or Jeffrey Lurie or anyone else in the Eagles organization. Yeah, we'll be the face of this, but everyone realizes that the tush-push is illegal. And then everyone decided to cower up when it was time to put up or shut up. And they said, oh, no, we're fine with it. It clearly presented issues last year. They almost were gifted a free touchdown because they kept calling offsides against the Commanders, even though if they ran it properly, they would have false started. That's what they did every single time last year. And now it's like, all right, now other owners are starting to catch up and starting to get it. And other teams, it's like, yeah, every single time they run the tush push, it's an illegal play. It's impossible to stop. And it's just puke city to watch. The NFL is supposed to be an entertainment product. The defensive pass interference rules were changed so that teams would score more. And now it's like, all right, not even 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It's 3/4 of a yard in a cloud of dust. They ran it 4 times in a row in Thursday Night Football to score a touchdown against the Giants. Still got absolutely shoved. They're in shambles in Philadelphia. They're not going to be, unless they seriously turned it around. This looks like a sinking ship to me. I know that they had some issues during the season last year and pushed through it, but they got their Super Bowl, and A.J. Brown, he does not look like he wants to be in Philadelphia at all. They reported on, the local media reported on a meeting that Jalen Hurts and Saquon and A.J. Brown had earlier this week, and after the game yesterday, A.J. Brown said that he does not recall having that meeting. So Philadelphia is an absolute shambles. The tush push is going to get banned in the offseason. Hilarious how quickly the Packers were vindicated for being the head of that rule change. But we'll take credit this next offseason when it does get banned. It's a puke play. The Philadelphia Eagles are a garbage organization, and I am loving their downfall. They can't move the ball, and I love it. Okay. All of that being said, the animosity, don't know where half of that came from. I do. I hate the Eagles, but we're going to push past it and talk about the Packers because that's what we're here to do. The most recent time we saw the Packers take the gridiron, it was on Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys in one of, I think, the highest scoring tie of all time. One of the highest scoring ties of all time. Whatever. It was a tie. Gross. 40-40. The offense had zero issues moving the ball throughout the entire game. The defense was not great in the second half. It was touchdowns galore. Matt LaFleur took his foot off the gas, and it was just the Packers should have won this game. We had ample opportunities to win this game. We had the Cowboys right where we wanted them, and we lost. So here's just a rundown of the game, not drive by drive, but just highlights, and then we're going to go from there. Opening drive, we scored a touchdown. It was great. And then Dallas immediately had a 3-and-out. So we have the ball up 7-0. And then it's a 4th and 2, and the Packers have the ball at midfield. And instead of going for it, we try to draw them off sides, take the delay of game, and then punt. We have the Cowboys right where we want them. Any other team in the NFL with a serious offense goes for it right there, tries to score. Whatever, we didn't. There's a mistake by Matt LaFleur. It's the first of many, so we're going to push on. Dallas, when they get the ball, they don't take advantage of our weak offensive mentality. They punt the ball back to us, and then the offense gets right back to where, not they left off, but their first drive. Go right down the field, score another touchdown. Should go up 14-0, but what happens? Another Puke City special teams play. The extra point gets blocked, returned for a 2-point conversion by the Cowboys, and all of a sudden it's 13-2. We're still in the driver's seat, but when weird things like that happen on special teams, you know that it's probably going to come back and bite you in the rear. 13-2. Dallas doesn't score on their ensuing drive, and then the Packers offense, basically doesn't try to score the next time we get the ball. We have the ball on the Cowboys' side of the 50 again on a 3rd and 5 and try a deep shot to Dontavian Wicks. If you try a deep shot on 3rd and 5 from the opponent's side of the field, you think, okay, that's setting up a 4th down short pass. Nope. We're on the 45, punt it back to Dallas. Again, not pushing forward on offense when we should, and then we get bitten in the rear for it. Dallas goes on a long scoring drive. They score with less than a minute left to make it 13-9, so that weird number comes into play. And then with less than a minute left, Matt LaFleur gets ultra aggressive all of a sudden. So the first 2 times when we should have been aggressive and at all time in the world, we don't, and we give the ball back to Pro Bowl, probably All-Pro this year, Dak Prescott. The second time we do it, they score on us, and then there's less than a minute left. Matt LaFleur goes, all right, now's the time to be aggressive. And what happens? Well, bad things happen because we switched up our philosophy. Jordan Love gets strip sacked. Dallas picks it up, scores on the next play, and then they're up 16-13 at halftime. Absolute idiot. Just a stupid decision by Matt LaFleur. He had 3 real decisions in the first half and was horrible at all of them and just failed at every turn. Despite that, we're clearly the better team. 16-13, so it's not like we're getting destroyed. We just should be up 28-2 or 27-2 or whatever it should be. But Rich Bisaccia still has a job. We'll talk about that later. So, coming out of the half, Dallas has the ball. We got to be worried about that, right? No, Dallas punts, so we get the ball back. And then every drive for the rest of the second half ends in scoring. So the Packers defense just absolutely crumbled. Jeff Hafley, don't hire him. Bad defensive coordinator. Keep him in Green Bay. We'll nurture him for at least another year. But any team that's looking for a coach in the offseason, just look at the Dallas second half and let me know if you want Jeff Hafley. So, like I said, 6 straight touchdowns. And then a field goal by the Packers as regulation expired by Brandon McManus. And then in overtime, 2 more field goals, one by the Cowboys, then one by the Packers as time expired to tie it. We'll get more into that. into overtime. But first, just more stupid coaching decisions by Matt LaFleur. Guess when we took our first timeout of the second half of this hotly contested game that we really want to win, not let it up to chance, especially when our defense can't stop them. We took our first timeout of the second half with 12 seconds left in regulation. I don't even know what to say about that. Are you kidding me? There was not another single moment. There wasn't Matt LaFleur, you love wasting stupid challenges. You didn't, and you weren't like, hey, maybe we've got a shot on that. I'll challenge that one. Nope, you didn't even try to do anything. Just Jordan Love was out there cooking with the offense, and first time out of the second half with 12 seconds left in regulation. Unreal. Okay. In overtime, Micah Parsons saved the game essentially by chasing down Dak Prescott, keeping them out of the end zone. They kick a field goal. The Packers get the ball back with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. Plenty of time to walk off with a touchdown. No problem. We'll figure out our problems during the bye week. Instead, Matt LaFleur just had straight up zero intention of scoring a touchdown that drive. We ran 2 plays, both Emmanuel Wilson runs, from 3 minutes and 15 seconds left until the 2-minute warning. So in that key minute 15 stretch where we want to set ourselves up post 2-minute warning to be able to push it into the end zone, instead of letting Jordan Love cook 2 backup running back runs. They were decent runs, but they did not, obviously, help us find the end zone because we didn't find the end zone, and Jordan Love is an MVP candidate, and Emmanuel Wilson is not our starting running back. So, Matt LaFleur, just keep your foot on the gas pedal. I hope that you've heard it the past 2 weeks. Let your offense go because they can score against anyone. Let Jordan Love cook. Packers got to the Dallas 25 and then ran another Emmanuel Wilson run, and then drew up a horrible play, a bubble to Matthew Golden and lose 3 yards, and then threw it to Emmanuel Wilson to lose another yard. We barely got an incompletion with 1 second left to kick it and tie it. We threw it to the end zone one time, and that was, thank you, Lord, that the defender was turned his back and that the ball bounced perfectly down, because if the defender kicked it and the ball goes up for even one more second, the Packers lose that game. We had the ball for 4 minutes and 40 seconds in overtime with, in my opinion, a top 5 offense conservatively in the NFL, and we had one shot at the end zone, and it was with 6 seconds left, we called hut. Absolutely disgusting, puke, the entire game. We had urgency when we didn't need it. We had zero urgency when we needed it. In the first half, when we could have stepped on their throats in back-to-back drives, or not in back-to-back, but in back-to-back fourth down situations, Matt LaFleur decided to give them the ball. Hey, Dak Prescott, you led the NFL in touchdown passes 2 years ago. I don't think that you're that great of a quarterback, but you are, numbers-wise. Here's the ball. We don't want it. We don't want our offense to have it. Just horrible, horrible decision-making by Matt LaFleur. All of that being said, Matt LaFleur needs to trust Jordan Love to make smart plays. He's purposely throttling the offense when we should be stepping on other team's throats. All of that being said, Rich Bisaccia. Rich Bisaccia is the worst special teams coach in the history of the universe. I've got a lot to read, so excuse me that I'm not going to be looking straight at the camera, but I did a lot of research because the anger that I have for this man in my heart, it knows no bounds. I am a gurgling volcano waiting to erupt. the next special teams mishap, the next blocked kick, the next blocked punt, the next whatever by special teams, bad fumble or whatever it is, that Rich Bisaccia doesn't apologize for or still has a job after, like the fact that he still has a job, he's the highest paid special teams coach in the NFL, it makes me sick to my stomach. He makes DMV workers look like astrophysicists. That's how bad he is at his job. Special teams has single-handedly lost us 2 games this season. In the Browns game, we were up 10-0, then allowed 13 points in the final 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Jordan Love made a horrible mistake to allow the Browns to tie the game up, and despite that, he still had us in a position to win. Then what happened at the end of regulation? Blocked field goal, the Browns return it, and then they kick their own field goal to win it 13-10. The next game, we have another kick get blocked that the Cowboys return for a 2-point conversion. Hey, wonder if that 3-point swing would have been nice in a freaking tie game, Rich. Wonder. 2 games this season. Last season in the playoffs, we fumbled the opening kickoff against the Eagles instead of taking a simple touchback. Thank you, Keyshawn Nixon. In Jordan Love's first year as a starter, we missed a 41-yard field goal against the 49ers that would have made the game a 7-pointer. We lost by 3. Thanks. Thanks, Rich. Year before that, the 49ers blocked a punt and returned it for a touchdown with 4 minutes and 41 seconds left to tie it. Then they kicked a field goal in the snow as time expired to win 13-10. That wasn't Rich Bisaccia's fault, but we have a long history of special teams being an issue in the playoffs. Just go back to Brandon Bostic and the Seahawks. Come on. Rich Bisaccia has been the special teams coach for the Packers since 2022. His first season, the Packers special teams were electric. We had one player who was electric on special teams. His name, Keyshawn Nixon. He was an all-pro kick returner. I was at the game that he returned the kickoff against the Vikings. It was awesome. If Keyshawn Nixon wasn't an all-pro return man that season, Rich Bisaccia would be a bus driver right now. He would not be coaching an NFL team. If it wasn't for Keyshawn Nixon 4 years ago, Rich Bisaccia is out of the league. I promise you. The next season, so Keyshawn Nixon, all-pro return man, Rich Bisaccia then gets promoted to an assistant head coach on top of special teams coach. The next season, Mason Crosby retires. So we draft Anders Carlson in the 6th round out of Auburn. Anders Carlson was the younger brother of Daniel Carlson, who Rich Bisaccia coached in Las Vegas when he was their interim head coach the year before he came over to the Packers. Anders Carlson was horrible at Auburn. His last year in college, he was 14 of 21 and suffered a season-ending ACL tear. Are ACLs important for kickers, Rich? I wonder. We still drafted him in the 6th round. He leads the NFL in missed kicks during the regular season with 13 of them. We knew he was going to miss a heartbreaker in the playoffs, and it happened against the Niners. The next season, because we, of course, cut Anders Carlson, our draft pick. The next season, we claimed Braden Narveson off of waivers, and he missed 5 of his first 17 kicks. Because of that, we picked up Brandon McManus. Brandon McManus has been good on the Packers when he has proper blocking. Credit to Braden Narveson, though. He was only 78% in college and should have never been on an NFL roster to begin with. What are we doing? Like, Rich Bisaccia, he just throws a blindfold on, picks up a dart, and throws it at a dartboard, and that's who he wants playing for him. Ongoing struggles for the Packers. Still can't figure out a return man. Bisaccia is talking about how he's excited to use Matthew Golden as a versatile punt returner. Hey, dude, no. Matthew Golden was a first-round wide receiver pick who runs a 4.29 40. Yeah, he's shifty, but we want him healthy on offense, not in the most injury-prone position. Speaking of being injury-prone, Bisaccia also has thrown out Jaden Reed and our most often concussed player, Romeo Dobbs, to play punt returner. Both of those guys have injury histories. Both of them are insanely valuable to our offense. Instead of throwing out a valuable wide receiver like Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, or Romeo Dobbs, maybe just put Keyshawn Nixon back there and instruct him to fair catch it every single time. Nothing good has come from returning a punt for the Packers this season. It's only been injuries or muffs or whatever. Like, just fair catch it every single time. Don't let Rich Bisaccia draw up anything. We have a zero creativity with the new kickoff rule. You see tons of teams just kicking it perfectly to the 15, bouncing it, making the other team return it. Brandon McManus just boots it deep every time. It's horrible. It's not creative. I'll repeat it. The rage is unbounding, and he is the highest paid special teams coach in the NFL. He literally signed an extension this past offseason. One more little fun fact. When do you guys think the last time the Packers blocked a punt was? Since it happens against us all the time in key situations. Can't recall? Well, I couldn't either. So I did some research, dug into the annals of history, and the Packers' last blocked punt was September 16, 2018. Yep, you heard it here first, folks. The Packers have not blocked a punt in 7 years. The players involved on that play, Geronimo Allison blocked it. Josh Jackson returned it for a touchdown. Shout out to those Packers special teams legends. Besides Keyshawn Nixon, nothing good has happened to the Packers on special teams since then. Yeah, Brandon McManus got hurt during the bye week too. How in the world does that work? Our kicker got hurt during the bye week. Okay. Rich Bisaccia, add it to the list. Figure something out with the Packers or find a new home elsewhere. I know that fans are fed up, but it is insane how long that this has been going on, and we just haven't figured it out with special teams. All that being said, Rich Bisaccia, I'm sure that you're a nice guy. All right, moving on to the Bengals preview, because Cowboys was an abomination, so let's just move beyond it. Oh, we get to see a friendly face in Joe Flacco, who handed us our only loss this season. So for the Bengals as a whole, their offensive line is horrible. Our edge rushers must dominate to the degree that they have been dominating, but not just get hurries. They need to finish those hurries with sacks. Despite us having a bye, in 4 games that we've played, our defense has 71 quarterback hurries. Let's convert a bunch of those to sacks this week. All right, sounds good, Jake. Let's do it. The Bengals offensive line, they've allowed 15 sacks this year. Chase Brown is averaging only 2.5 yards per carry. They don't give their quarterback a lot of time. They also don't have a solid run game. So Quay Walker, Edgerrin Cooper, Micah Parsons, Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, Devontae Wyatt's out, unfortunately, but Carl Brooks, that means that you can step up. Our defense needs to have a big game. Just allowed 40 points to a seedy-less Cowboys team. I know that they're hurting. Get to see Joe Flacco again, the only quarterback who beat the Packers so far this season, which is crazy to say that Joe Flacco beat the Packers on the Browns this year, and now he's playing on the Bengals. Like, if Joe Flacco beats the Packers twice in the year of our Lord 2025, playing for 2 different teams, I don't even know what I'll do with myself. Maybe at the end of the tangent, I might have a bet with the audience where if the Packers lose, I might do something, just because if Joe Flacco beats the Packers twice for two different AFC North teams, it's game over. It's just, again, puke city. I said it before, I'll say it again. That would be not good. Joe Flacco, when he played against the Packers for the Browns earlier this year, he was not good. He was 21 of 36 for a $142 and a pick. We only had 2 sacks against him. He obviously did not do enough to win. They had 0 serious long scoring drives. Their only touchdown was set up by a Jordan Love interception in the red zone. But he also didn't give the Packers any short fields. The Packers' defense has only caused 2 turnovers this season. Both interceptions, Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams in weeks 2 and 3. Only having two turnovers through 4 weeks, I'm a little bit concerned. Big plays are what wins in the NFL. And so being able to set up your offense with a short field and flip the game on its head quickly, that is what wins in the NFL. We still have an elite defense. Our edge rushers are still getting to the quarterback, but we are just not turning the ball over. If we can get 1 or 2 turnovers this game, that would be awesome. I still feel confident that we're going to win just because I think that Matt LaFleur has heard the noise and knows that we need to unlock our offense, and I hope that our defense has been watching tape from the Cowboys game and realizes that allowing 40 points to a team with 1 serious wide receiver was an absolute abomination. So I hope that they've heard the noise. I don't see any, I think I said this against the Browns, but I don't see any world where the Packers lose against the Bengals, and I think that this time it's serious. But let's cause some turnovers. Let's force some turnovers. Let's get after it. Give the offense some short fields, and let's run up the score. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are the 2 guys that can hurt us. They're going to be matched up against a combination of Keyshawn Nixon, Carrington Valentine, and Nate Hobbs. Those guys have been good this year in zone coverage, which is primarily what the Packers play and what Jeff Hafley calls. They can just keep their eyes on the quarterback. They can backpedal. They don't have to be primarily focused on their man, meaning that when the quarterback starts his throwing motion, that they can make a break on the ball and get a PBU. Keyshawn Nixon has got to be one of the top PBU guys in the NFL this year, despite, obviously, the Packers having a bye week. So look for more of that from the Packers. I'm not concerned about that mismatch because we're playing Flacco again. The Bengals' offensive line is not good. We're going to make life the Packers are going to make life uncomfortable for Joe Flacco. I expect Lucas Van Ness, Micah Parsons, and Rashawn Gary to combine for at least 4 sacks. I know that's probably a lot to ask, but you look at the stats, you look at what the guys have been doing. They've also been held quite a lot, and it's not been getting called. Hopefully it will get called. They're getting so close. It's half a step away. So let's just have those sacks start to compound. Let's see what this defense can really do, and let's open it up against the Bengals, because their last 3 opponents have been able to open it up against them, really stomp on their throats early, and the Packers haven't done that since week 2 against the Commanders, and look what happened the next 2 games. We didn't stomp on the Cowboys, or we didn't stomp on the Browns' throat, we didn't stomp on the Cowboys' throat, and we finished those games 0-1-1. The Bengals defense as a whole has given up 37.7 points per game over their last 3. As I mentioned, all 3 teams stomped on their throats early. The Vikings were up 34-3 at the half. That was the insane game with Isaiah Rodgers' 2 defensive touchdowns. The Broncos were up 21-3 at the half. Detroit was up 14-3 at halftime, and then 28-3 at the end of the third. All of their opponents have been able to build up insurmountable leads. The Packers have not for the past, it's not been their MO for the past 2 games to build up those insurmountable leads. Matt LaFleur calls the plays on offense. He just needs to call the plays like he isn't even watching the defense. The only situational football that Matt LaFleur needs to be worried about this week is how to score as early and as often as possible. When Matt LaFleur takes the training wheels off of this offense, no one can stop them. Downfield passing is what wins teams leagues in this game. Having Josh Jacobs and a solid run game, which we don't even really have this year, but we have the threat of a solid run game, is great insofar as that it leads to heavy boxes and one-on-one coverage downfield. Very rarely can teams run the ball for 6 yards a pop down the entire field. They need one big play to set them up, and that's what the Packers the Packers offense is very, very good at creating those big plays. Jordan Love, his average depth of target is one of the deepest, if not the deepest in the NFL. I'm guessing after the Browns game, it got a little wonky, but at least after the first 2 weeks, he was by far and away the NFL leader in average depth of target. He throws the ball downfield, which is what creates scoring opportunities for the offense. To highlight this even further, Warren Sharp, NFL reporter, he published a study in 2024 about the effectiveness or how much downfield or big plays affect a team's chance to score. On drives that start at or inside a team's 30-yard line, those drives with 0 explosive plays, which is defined as a play of 15-plus yards. So 0 explosive plays, only 6.2% of drives score points of any time or of any kind. 4.8% of those drives reach the red zone, and only 2.3% of drives score a touchdown. 1 in every 50 drives that a team has where they don't have a play of 15 or more yards, 1 in every 50 results in a touchdown. If that drive has exactly 1 play of 15-plus yards, so not even talking about compounding big plays, but if a drive has 1 play of 15 or plus yards, that team is 51%. Let me back up. If a drive has exactly 1 play of 15-plus yards, 51% of those drives score points. 28% of those drives score a touchdown. So by just having 1 play of 15 or more yards per drive, that team is automatically 10 times more likely to score a touchdown. Jordan Love's MO is throwing the ball downfield, finding his guys in one-on-one situations, and creating mismatch football. Matt LaFleur has kept the training wheels on this offense for the past 2 weeks. Instead of just letting Jordan Love sling it, letting this offense step on our opponent's throats, he's played conservatively, and what happens in the NFL? Well, every single player gets paid a lot of money, and they're prideful in what they do, and so when we let the bad teams hang around, the bad things tend to happen. We lost to the Browns, we tied to the Cowboys, didn't even try to score in overtime against the Cowboys, and now we sit here at 2-1-1 on the season. If you told me at the beginning of this season, 4 games into it, that we'd be 2-1-1 on the year, I probably wouldn't be super disappointed, but now that we sit here after the bye, heading into week 6, knowing exactly how these games have went, knowing how close we are and how we should be 4-0, it just makes me even more furious at Rich Bisaccia, but certain of what this team is capable of doing. When we just get out of our own way, when Matt LaFleur takes off the training wheels, trusts his third-year starting quarterback. Josh Jacobs hasn't been as great this year as far as numbers are concerned, but again, teams respect him. He's loading up the box, and we're setting up that downfield passing game, but Matt LaFleur for the past couple games, hasn't even been attempting the downfield passing game. One last thing before we get to a final prediction. Christian Watson will be back next week after tearing his ACL at the end of last season. What an absolute legend. Insane physical therapy. Can't wait to see him back out. When Christian Watson is on the field for the Packers, good things happen to the offense. He stretches the field. He's a physical mismatch. And if he can learn to high point the ball that he was doing at the end of last season, if he can bring that into this season, that just opens up a new level of downfield passing game along with Romeo Doubs. And as we continue to see Matthew Golden bloom, there's another burner that we can throw out there offensively and create some more mismatches for Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur. Final prediction for the game. Bengals 9 with 3 Evan McPherson field goals. Packers 46. I think that we score 6 touchdowns and convert 5 2-point conversions. Brandon McManus got injured during the bye week. Let's not even bring in another kicker. Let's just keep retooling the offense and jam it down their throats. That's what this team is capable of doing. Take off the training wheels, go get a win, take us to 3-1-1, and shoot us back up the NFL power rankings. Thank you very much. Stick around for the tangent, and go Pack go. Hey, everybody. Welcome on back into First and Tangent. You have reached the tangent section, so thank you for listening. If you enjoy the Packers content, please like, subscribe, leave a comment. Comment what your favorite Packers regular season play of the past. Let's do of the Matt LaFleur era. My personal one is probably the double fake Musgrave seam route against the Rams, where he waltzed in for a touchdown, stayed on his feet miraculously. Just a beautiful, beautiful regular season play design. Comment your favorite Packers regular season play of the Matt LaFleur era. For the tangent section, I want to venture into the world of stand-up comedy a little bit. Stand-up comedy has been getting so much bigger, especially the bloom of the podcast era, and it's now developing national and international stars. It seems like overnight, Matt Rife became one of the biggest touring stand-up comics in the world from basically TikTok. And with that, the rest of the world is getting a lot more involved with stand-up comedy and getting interested in it, including Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia had the Riyadh Comedy Festival just a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of people, including myself, were upset at the comedians that participated in it. A lot of very big-name comics. Tom Segura, I don't think anyone was surprised, including myself, that he would take money from the Saudis, but he went over there. The Bad Friends guys, Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino, went over there, sold their soul. The We Might Be Drunk guys, Mark Norman and Sam Morrill, they went over there and performed for the sheiks in Saudi Arabia. But I think the one guy who's really grinding everyone's gears for having performed at this comedy festival is Bill Burr. One of the highest paid stand-up comedians of all time, net worth of about $20 million, decided, hey, yeah, I'll accept some more funds from the guys who, or not some more, but some funds from the guys who brought us 9/11, social justice warrior Bill Burr. And now he's on a little bit of a rampage defending himself, and it's almost like, hey, me think the lady doth protest too much, or whatever it is. But he was on a live Sirius XM show with Conan O'Brien, actually with a live audience, and had some words to say about the Riyadh Comedy Festival. So take a listen.
I can't believe you went to that place I can't find on a map. And this bot said I was upset about it, so now I am. I can't believe how much anger I had about this issue after it went viral.
So you're here to apologize?
No. Not at all. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've had as a comedian. It was incredible. And what was the best part is my whole life is I've been paranoid about the news. Like I watch the news and I always go like, this doesn't feels like they're moving stuff around, they're shifting it. So to actually kind of be in the middle of one of those stories and actually confirm it and watching them lying their ass off saying there was no women there, which was a lie. It was just great to be at home. Like I'm like, I fucking knew it. I knew they were lying.
All right.
It's not all right. It's really
like
fucked up that they do that.
You sound like anyone's uncle yelling at the TV.
The amount of contempt that he has for the audience or for anyone criticizing him or viewing it a different way is just insane. His smug little giggle. You don't even know where it is on a map. Dude, it's not like you're a rocket scientist. You're a stand-up comic from Boston who likes sports. Like, why are you trying to act holier than thou? And then saying that it was one of the greatest experience of your life in stand-up comedy? Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, they're not going to treat the comic that they brought over poorly. They're going to treat everyone else poorly, that they rule over, that they have trillions of dollars that they stole from. They still regularly execute people for non-violent offenses such as drugs. Last year, there were over 400 executions in Saudi Arabia. I think 200 or 250 of which were non-violent drug-related executions. Bill Burr, here's the laughs. Tim Dillon said that he accepted it, didn't end up going because he still said, I don't like these guys at all. They did 9/11, but I'll take their money. He said that he got offered $375,000 to go over. Bill Burr, probably a little bit more than that. He is a bigger name, more time in the industry. How greedy can he get? This was 100% greed. Zero concern about anyone else that he claims to represent, that he's the everyman. Saudi Arabia, they did 9/11, dude. And now you're just going over there and everything's all good. Let's have a fun little laugh. And anyone who criticizes me, you're an idiot. Not me. Not the stand-up comic from Boston. I know everything. Let's turn a blind eye to the human rights violations that they're committing on a daily basis. I'm a champion for my wife. Oh, yeah, they hate women there. I'm a strong liberal man. I voted for Kamala. I hate Trump. Oh, blood money? Appreciate that. Appreciate that, chic. What an idiot. What a scumbag Bill Burr is. He's been a loser for the past few years, but he is funny. He's got some all-time classics. Paper Tiger, very, very funny special. But this current iteration of Bill Burr, this woke, loser, liberal version of Bill Burr, you ruined your career. You hate every American, apparently. You sold out your neighbors for $500,000. You already have $20 million, but you hate everything that America was built on. You yourself are a member of the 0.5%. He ruined his career. I never want to see anything from Bill Burr again because he is being outspoken and doesn't understand that there's another side. The other guys that perform there, like Mark Norman and Sam Morrill, I don't like that they did it, but they're not flaunting it and saying everything that they're doing in Saudi Arabia is great. They just took their money, and I haven't heard them talk about it since. Bill Burr is going on a live podcast with Conan O'Brien saying, if you think that me not taking that money from the Saudi Arabians, if you would prefer me to have not done that, you're the bad person. Get out of town, Bill Burr. Go find the Lord or get out of America, because You clearly hate America, and you clearly hate your neighbors. They'll accept you in the desert, so buy a one-way ticket over there and see how they treat your wife. See you next time.